Alright, today we're going to start making our bodies to our bobbleheads. To begin, you're going to grab a larger ball of clay from the bucket on the clay cart. You will need a placemat again today. You're going to need a smoothing tool of some sort, whether it be this kind of wooden stick version or maybe even a credit card here. And then you're also going to probably want some texture items. And then depending on how far you get, you will eventually need a fork and maybe a pencil tool to start adding the features to your body. First things first though, you're going to begin by getting rid of the air bubbles. And to do that, remember you're going to push down hard with your palms, roll it back up, push down again. Remember, it's kind of like creating that face. Another way to do it we talked about was to create like a really strong snowball, where you're just going to smack it back and forth in your hands for a little bit, trying to squish out any of those air bubbles. Okay, once you get that done, it works nice to kind of set your placemat aside for this beginning part. But what I'm going to do is kind of start to roll it back and forth. And I'm going to try to put a little bit of pressure down as I roll. And I want to slowly start to push down more on one side versus the other. And if you push on too hard, it's not going to roll very smoothly. So you just want to go kind of slow at this and very gently apply pressure. You can see I'm starting to get more of that cone shape that way you want to start with. I don't want my point of my cone to get too skinny though. Kind of like we talked about with the pinch pots, I'm going to want to make sure that I still have about the thickness of my finger on top when I'm done. So this is actually a little too skinny. Once I get pointy like that, I can kind of tip it upside down, gently tap it on top like this to then create about the thickness of my finger. So that's looking better. Okay, because you got to remember we're going to poke a hole in there and we need to make sure that it's strong enough on all sides afterwards. Then I can gently roll it maybe one or two more times to make it a little bit taller. And then once I got it about the height that I want to flatten this bottom here to make sure I have some really nice balance. So I'm just gently picking it up and letting the weight of the clay kind of flatten out the bottom. Let me do it one more time. After that, you could roll it again just to kind of reshape it. So there, now I have a pretty nice cone that seems to be very balanced. Now, I would encourage you though to try to smooth off any of these kind of lines. If I hold that up close, you can kind of see it there, prior to putting on your features, because it's a lot harder to go back and smooth stuff after you have arms and tails and all that kind of stuff. So you could use this wooden stick like this and just simply go around it. You can use your finger too, or possibly even the credit card to smooth a bigger surface at once. So spend a little bit of time going around your whole cone, making sure it's nice and smooth. The other thing I would do before you start adding legs and arms would be to think about your textures. This would be a great chance to kind of either press on some textures. If I hold it close, you can see those. Maybe I want a furry kind of effect. But again, this would be something that would be really hard to do after you put on the arms and the legs or the wings or the tail. So now as I kind of spin it around, you can see I got some textures on there. I want to give it one last little look, kind of reshape it a little bit, and then now I'm ready to go get some more clay from the bucket and start adding on my arms and legs. Just constantly be thinking about balance and kind of just be double checking things to make sure everything's still stable as you apply things on. And of course, don't forget to do the scoring and adding the water to each things that you add on. Have fun, and let's see what we can do.